Alrighty. We are live. Let me check my audio levels, make sure you're here. Alright, that sounds good. Open up some programs that we're going to use. And let's start this recorder. Recorder. Bit. Alrighty. Welcome to the MPTM Podcast. This is a podcast. Let's do that intro again. Alright. Welcome to the MPTM Podcast. This is a podcast about a little bit of everything. Today we're going to be talking about game development, but other times we may be talking about flag football, 3D printing, locksmithing, t-shirts, and conspiracy theories. So sit tight. We are going to be focusing on how to create a video game in Unity. Right now I'm working in Unity game engine. You can find Unity game engine for free online. You can find the Unity game engine for free online. It's free to download. This tutorial right here is free to download, and I really love that Unity has put together these microgames that you can download and basically teach you how to use the game engine while you're inside of it. I really love these little micro games. They make learning really easy to use, really easy and accessible. They make the engine accessible, and it's pretty straightforward. So, like right now, before I get into the actual tutorial, I just want to go over the version of Unity that I'm using. So when you download Unity, you have to download what's called the Unity Hub. Now, the Unity Hub is going to be the hub for all your installations for Unity and your actual game projects. So if I go over here to installs, installs are going to be the different types of engines that you have in Unity. So right now I'm running, let me just double check, so I want to make sure I'm giving you the correct version. I'm running LTS 2021 3.3. And basically what that means in layman's terms is long-term support. LTS stands for long-term support, and that basically says in any software, whether it's Unity, Blender, ZBrush, whatever, long-term support means that developer, and in this case the developer that creates Unity, the corporation Unity, is going to support this particular version of the game engine for a long period of time. And it's kind of I just look at it simply as a checkpoint in the engine. So if I go over down here to 2021.3, technically, yes, it's a couple years old, I would say, because we're in 2023 right now, but the 2021 version has these micro games installed. So basically it just makes making games a lot easier and straightforward. So you have all these tutorials as I'm scrolling through as I'm scrolling through the Unity Hub Learn section. You have all these different tutorials that kind of walk you through different game projects. So I like this version, so we're going to be focusing on that today. I just wanted to kind of go over that because if you use a newer version of Unity, you may not have access to some of these microgame projects. So before I actually get into the project, I'm just going to create a new project just so you can see exactly where you can find this when you're working on your game project. So actually, I skipped a step. So let's go back. Like, we're installing this fresh from unity.com. You can go to unity.com, install the project, create your profile, and then once Unity Hub is installed, you're going to go over here to installs, and then you're going to go to official releases, and you're going to find the version of Unity that I'm talking about right now, which is 2021.33. Long-term support. And then from there, you're going to go click Install Editor, and that's going to take a little while. Give it 30-40 minutes or so, and your software is going to be installed. Now you can open up Unity Hub again, and you'll see the installs. You'll see it over here, actually in the installs. And then you are able to go over here, create a new project, and this is where the magic happens. Basically, when you create a new project in Unity, you have access to all these different templates and all these different ways to kind of make shortcuts for your project. So another micro game that I really like to use is called the karting micro game, where you use a little go-kart, you drive around in it. Another really cool one is this runner game, where it's like an infinite runner, and essentially all you're doing is clicking this project right here, creating a project name, and then you're clicking create project. So and also you have a first person project, you have a third person project, you have all these available for first person shooter project, Lego micro game project. These are all really fun projects to kind of learn how to use the engine and make your own games. So today on episode 1, we're going to be focusing on a 2D platformer game, and that's for a very particular reason. We all know Mario, Sonic, the classic side scrollers of the Super Nintendo era, Mega Man, what else? All these amazing platformers that hold a special place in the hearts of children, adults everywhere, because they were one of the first games that we all played. So that's why I wanted to make this the first tutorial that we did in Unity in this style. This is a new way I'm going to be doing these tutorials. I'm going to do a live version, and then I'm going to edit it, clean it up, and release it as a video version, and then kind of release it in chunks so that people can see the magic in Unity in a very simplified version, using these built-in tutorials. Alright, so I think that's enough of a load up. We're going to dive right in. This is going to be a quick tutorial. We're only going to be in it for about 30 minutes or so, maybe 20 minutes. I just want to show off how we're going to basically make a 2D platformer game. So let's go. Alright, get started in Unity. 2D platformer game. Make your own platformer game. In this project, you will find preloaded scenes, scripts, audio, and tutorials. In this project, you will find preloaded scenes, scripts, audio, tutorials, and more to inspire you and help you start creating. Unity, quick start your creation journey with the step-by-step tutorials. Ready to create, head straight to the scene. Right now, we are going to click Load Tutorials. Awesome. So now, if you notice, we are in tutorial mode in Unity. So you can now I'm not able to kind of just do whatever I want to do. I have to follow this tutorial over here to kind of get started, which is cool because I'm acting like I don't know anything about Unity. I've never used it before. I don't know what's going on. So in this tutorial, you will begin to explore the basics of the Unity editor as you playtest the beginning of the platformer microgame, review the Unity interface, and make the player go faster. So just like that, we're not coding, we're not doing anything crazy. We're doing a simple playtest of the game, and we're going to make the player faster. That's it. All right, so let's click start. And we're going to go up here to the play button in Unity. So a couple of quick things about the play button in Unity. When you click the play button, you're entering play mode. So play mode is where we're testing the game out, is where we're, literally playing the game. You need to realize that in play mode, you cannot edit the game. Let me repeat that, but in a different way. In play mode, you cannot edit the game and it stays that way forever. Technically, yes, you can edit the game while you're in play mode, but it'll revert to how it was before you entered play mode. So you don't, that's one of the big mistakes that a lot of people do when they first get into Unity. They go into play mode and they go into play mode on accident or something, and they start editing and doing all this work, and then they realize 30 minutes later they've been in play mode and everything they've been doing doesn't count. So just be aware of that. Be in play mode, being out of play mode is very important in the game development process. So you want to make sure you are not in play mode when you are not playing the game. Alright, so right now just click play mode to start the game. This game has audio clips that are going to initialize. I just don't want them to play right now, so I'm just going to mute it. Yeah. So as this is loading up, I want to go. Alright, it's loading up fast. I got a bunch of stuff open in the background. This is a project that's gonna load fast on your computer. So this is why I use this one. Alright, so we have the game open now, and I am going left and right as a little dude. This is pretty cool. He's able to run and jump. And we got, if you look over here, Game Development 101. Actually, let's do this. So right now, I am going to go. I don't know why I'm acting like I don't have an extra screen over here. Okay, so right now, I just want to bring up a couple of classic 2D platformer games. So we're going to bring up Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Level 1. Alright, so we are on Super Mario Level 1, and I'm not going to bring up too many images just to conserve time, but let's just go right over here to this image and let that load up. And the first thing I said when this project loaded up was, Game Development 101. So if I go, let's click this image. Okay, all right. Right now, I pulled up the at this point, it's an iconic screenshot of Mario. It's Mario, it's World 101. Excuse me, yeah, it's World 1, Level 1, and you have Mario, and you have around him some basic mechanics in a video game. You have a bad guy underneath him, you have a solid platform right here, you have a power-up, and you have coins. And then the genius of Mario, it showcases is in full showcase right here, because we have the tube right here that goes to a mysterious underground place. If you really know Mario, you know that these clouds up here are going to take you to another place. These boxes right here can be power ups, they can be coins, it can be whatever. And yeah, so there's a lot of like potential mystery in this just one screenshot. So I definitely wanted to showcase in my opinion, the magic of Mario in this tutorial. So going back to our game, we got our dude, and he's able to run and jump, collect his coin, boom, kill this bad guy, boom, and jump. Ooh, we got hit. What happens? Wow, that right there is really cool. So we have a really basic game loop of a main character running, jumping, collecting coins, and the character feels good. The controls feel pretty smooth. There's something going on, I can tell, in the physics, where if I hold down jump, the character kind of jumps higher, but if I press it short, the character kind of does a little hop. That's really cool and gives an extra layer of feel and tactile responsiveness to the player. So that's something I want you to keep in mind when you're making video games. You know, how does it feel to the player, and how does it look visually? So like right now, when I died, I thought it looked really, really cool visually, that the character kind of, you know, emerged from the ground and, you know, respawned. So that was really cool. Since I pulled up Mario, I definitely want to pull up Mega Man real quick. Mega Man is one of my favorite games of all time. So I have to use this example as well in this tutorial. It just wouldn't feel right. It just wouldn't feel right if I did it. Alright, so Mega Man X. And we're gonna go Mega Man X level 1 as well. So Mega Man X is definitely one of my favorite games of all time, and I want to do alright, so I was trying to use the another screenshot, but whatever, we'll use this one. Okay, so same thing with this one like we did with the Mario stuff. This is Mega Man, and it's a 2D platformer, very similar to kind of what we're doing over here. You have Mega Man running around in the foreground, and then you have this background right here. So real quick in Unity, going back to the actual tutorial, the reason I love 2D platformers as a great episode 1 for this podcast is because a 2D platformer, you can kind of make it whatever you want, and add certain mechanics. It can really, really make your game unique. So in Mario, obviously, you know, you're running around, you're collecting coins and doing your thing, but there's a level of action that's very personal, I would say. You have to jump on the bad guys like I'm doing right here. In Mega Man, for example, Mega Man's a little bit less personal, where I can sit over here and shoot something to this blob bad guy, and it's a little less personal, so to speak. So keep that in mind when you're making the game. One little small feature can like really change the feel of your game and allow you to kind of make something really cool and unique. So going back to the actual tutorial, I've been walking around kind of navigating this game. One thing I want you to see as I'm up on this platform right here, what happens if I go in the Unity game engine and click scene while the game's playing? What happens? Alright, well, what happens is I see the entire game level, for one. This right here is called a scene. In this particular scene, I can't see the scene name, or can I? Yeah, I can. This scene is just a sample scene. So in your project, it's just going to be called the sample scene. The cool thing about being in the scene mode while the game is running is I can literally go into scene mode and find my character. He's right over here, and I can zoom into him. I can click him. I can click the background. I can click the bad guy, and I can kind of analyze the game while it's running. So this is very, very useful in the game development stuff. So, I might have broke the tutorial. I broke the tutorial, so I'm about to just redo it. Alright, cool. Alright, so I'm back in the tutorial, and at the part where I'm navigating the world, and let's do... Alright, so we're in play. Alright, so we're in play mode, and excuse me, we're changing the speed now. Okay, so we're changing the speed on the character now, and basically without getting into any advanced coding or anything like that, we're able to change the speed of our character by changing this parameter right here. So the tutorial wants me to change it from 3 to 10, so I just press 10 in there, click next, and then now we're going to go back into play mode and test the game. So literally that right there is a small part of Unity game development. It's making a quick change and then going into Unity and seeing how our change was implemented. So in this case, our character is really fast now, and it like literally changes the entire game. The game pace and the frantics. I can't say this word. Let's try this again. The franticness of the character. So that's cool. He's running now. So okay, we're gonna exit play mode and continue with the tutorial. Alrighty, now we're gonna go to editor basics. So we don't need to save anything in this tutorial. I'm just kind of going through everything. Alright, so editor basics. In this tutorial, you'll learn more about the Unity editor as you change your view with the hand tool and move a game object with the hand tool. Click start. Alright, so we're going to select the view tool. And if you're used to any type of 3D programs, you have certain gizmos and widgets to kind of navigate that 3D world. The same thing applies in Unity. So we're going to click this hand tool right here, and this hand tool is how we pan. Panning is just going left to right and kind of dragging around the game world, so to speak, or the screen. So I'm panning around, able to get where I want to go. It's an awesome way to kind of move around. Alright, so let's click next, and then now alright, so now I'm just using Alright, so now it's asking me to zoom in and out. So right now I'm just using my mouse, and I'm clicking in on the middle mouse button, and I'm able to kind of grab the screen, and then I use my middle mouse button to scroll, and I'm able to just scroll in and zoom in. Really basic, but that's something you want to kind of play around with to get used to moving around and navigating in Unity. I definitely recommend using shortcut keys in Unity. So right now, if I click the W key, if I click the W button on the keyboard, I get the move tool. So I'm able to move things with this right here. So it's telling me it wants to move. It wants me to move the little coin that you have. So I'm moving this game object with the move tool. And another quick point, we're making a 2D game. So this 2D game is gonna be. Just want to make sure we're still recording. All right, we're about to move this coin. So when we're moving this coin, I wanted to make a point that we're moving it in 2D space. So right now it's only in 2D space, so we're only moving it within the I want to give you the correct access. What is that? Can't it's not telling me. I believe it's the X and the Y axis. How can I see that? Yeah, I'm not seeing it. But if we were in 3D, it would be three accesses. It would be X, Y, and Z. Yeah, so yeah, we're in 2D. It's just X and Y. All right, so I click next. We already moved it, and the next thing we're going to do in the tutorial is change some colors. This is going to have to be a 2-part tutorial. The first part of the tutorial is just going to be getting used to the Unity game engine. And all that, and then the second part is going to be the platformer still, but we're going to make a custom, we're going to make a cool, like a locksmith custom platformer game, really quick to end out the summer. And then I have my kids working on their own prototypes in this same game, Microgame. As well, so we're gonna have some fun in the second podcast episode in this series. So to finish this out, we're gonna change some colors. So right now, all I'm doing is continuing through the tutorial, and it's telling me to click the player. So over on this left hand side is called the hierarchy, and you have everything that's in the game in the hierarchy. So in the hierarchy, you have enemies, you have the coins, you have the player, all that stuff. So, all right, it's telling me to frame the player. So another really good keyboard shortcut is, if you notice on the screen right now, I'm really zoomed out. But if I go over here and I click F, boom, it zooms me all the way in. It allows me to focus on the character. So I thought that's very helpful, because when you're zooming around and you're making your game, you got all this stuff going on, you kind of lose track of things. I click character, click F, boom, zoom right over to him. Awesome. All right, so we're gonna click next, and right now we're gonna change the color of this character. So remember, we're working in 2D. So we're a 2D game. In 2023 is going to be a lot easier than a 3D game, because it's a lot less going on. And nowadays, these game engines are so powerful that they handle 2D action, 2D games very well. So I definitely recommend doing a 2D game as one of your first games. Okay, so let's change the color. So we're going to change our color over here, and let's change him to purple. Cool. All right, and it's pretty straightforward. Next, enter play mode. Let's see how our purple dude's running around now. And I think this has been a really cool little successful tutorial. We have a character. Timeout. Oh yeah, I don't think. I didn't save it when I made him faster, so he's still running slow. But it's all cool. We changed the color of the character, which is really cool. All right, so we enter play mode again. Get out of there, and now we're gonna add an enemy to the game. So let's go. Okay. Awesome. All right. So in Unity, one cool thing about Unity, and I'll go over what you're looking at on the screen right now, real quick. So a game object in Unity is any type of object in your game. Pretty straightforward, right? It can be a tree, it can be a player, it can be a coin, whatever. Those are all considered game objects. Now, a prefab is it can be a collection of game objects. So a prefab is, I would say, in my opinion, I would say it's an advanced game object. So it might have like this enemy, for example. We're about to add an enemy to the game, but we're adding an enemy prefab into the scene. So I'm grabbing the enemy right here, and this enemy is composed of. Why is it not letting me? Oh, there you go. All right. So this enemy, when I grab it and throw it into the game, it's already kind of composed of the animation, the character, the movement, the AI, all that stuff. So it already has that all in, it's all saved together. So you don't have to keep making enemies over and over and over again. Once you make the enemy once, you got the enemy, and you save it, and then it's all kind of set. It's all set up in a package, so to speak. That's what a prefab is. That's what a prefab is. You want to think of a prefab as a package deal, like it's a package of a character, of a bad guy, of an environment, or whatever. All right, so we're gonna move this jelly bad guy over here. Put him right there. Cool. And we're gonna go next. Okay. So now it's telling me that they want me to rotate and scale the enemy. Just so you know, once again, we're gonna use our keyboard shortcuts. We're gonna press E on the keyboard, and that's how we rotate. So you see we're able to rotate them around, blah, 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 blah. And then if I press R, I'm able to scale them. So like I was telling my son the other day, one thing that for some reason, a lot of the designers, they don't understand uniformity. And it's one of my pet peeves that kind of drives me crazy. Basically, and this kind of pertains to making T-shirts, designing graphics, whatever. When I scale something, you have the option to always scale something uniformly or ununiformly. Sometimes you need to scale ununiformly for certain things, which is fine. But for the most part, you're going to be scaling uniformly. So this character right here, he's designed in this particular shape. So if I stretch him out like that, yeah, it's technically it can work, but you're gonna break things. You're gonna break a lot of things. I'm not gonna get into too much into that, but if I want to make this bigger, you're not gonna do that, and you're not gonna do that because you're scaling it ununiformly. You do not want to do that. You want to grab it from the middle right here, and scale it like that. That's how you scale uniformly. Like I said, the same thing applies in a lot of different programs. Alright, so I click next, and we're going to build and publish next in the next tutorial, next part of the tutorial. Alright, before you publish your game, discover more ways to customize it with the platformer in. Before you publish your game, discover more ways to customize it with the platformer creative mods. Okay, so with these micro games, you have a lot of resources online, such as the one I'm about to bring up, which is Unity, which is learn.unity. I really love this website. It's a perfect side component to the Unity game engine. Basically, you're able, if it loads up, what's going on? That's not the website's problem. That's probably my problem. I got a ton of stuff going on in the background. But basically, the Unity Learn website has tutorials where you can kind of follow along, and I can't see it right now, so I'm not going to use it as an example for this project. But for the other micro game project, like the go karting project, that project has additional tasks and features and stuff that you can add online, or excuse me, that you can add. They have those tutorials online, so that's a really cool part of a lot of these. We're not going to go into all this right now. Well, I guess, yeah, we'll go to it real quick. So basically, the end of this tutorial is trying to have you publish the game. And just so you know, the Unity game engine is able to publish as small as an Android app, but as big as a Xbox game or something. So it has the ability to export to all those platforms, which is really, really cool, really, really good. Each and every platform, the development has to be a little bit different. So, kind of take that and keep that in mind. But just understanding that if you create the game once, you can then port the game to other platforms, I believe is very, very, very powerful in Unity, and definitely other game engines, but that's definitely a strength in Unity. Yeah. So right now we are going to publish this WebGL project, and basically this looks new. Yeah, I haven't published a WebGL build in a little while now, so this all looks kind of new to me. But essentially, a WebGL is a web-based version of the game, and you're able to export it and then like host it online on like a website or itch.io.com or something like that. And that's the web deployed version of the game. Yeah, so you can do that, or you can export the game as a .exe file, and the game can kind of be played on the computer. Obviously, with the web build, you need to have internet access to play it. With this other version, with the exporting it on the desktop, you don't. Obviously, same thing with the Android app, you don't. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's see where we're at on time. Yeah, I don't want to go too much longer.